My name is Reverend Carol Kama, and this is season 2 of Thoughts of a Shaken Pastor. Last week I shared with you my decision to have weight loss surgery, and I shared about the fact that you need to reach out, that there's some times when you don't have what it takes to take you to where you want to go. This week I want to talk about accepting your limits. Before I had surgery, I had to accept the fact that with everything I was doing, I needed help beyond what I could give myself. I needed something extra. I needed to do things differently. And for me, that translated to the fact that I chose to have weight loss surgery. Now, after the surgery, I realized that I still had limitations. The first thing I realized is that I couldn't just eat what I wanted and how much I wanted. Because my capacity had been reduced, it meant that I had to be very careful, not just about the quantity of the food, but about the quality of the food that I put into my body. Every little bite needed to matter. You see, before I could eat anything because really the body would take what it needs and even store extra. But this time the body was limited. And so whenever I looked at my plate, I had to make the decision. Is this going to take me towards where I need to go? Is this going to help my body heal faster? Is this going to give me the energy that I need given the quantity? And so that became my limits, and I had to accept them, and I had to work with them. I realized that I'd been given a tool. You see, before, I had stretched my stomach by taking in too much, by ignoring my limits. But now this time, I was being given a brand new start. I could make the same decisions that would take me to the same place from where I started from, or I could make the choice to accept that this was not going to be business as usual and to choose different. And so I chose to stick by the rules. Have I always been good? Unfortunately, no. Like just this weekend, it was our anniversary, and a friend of ours took us for lunch, and there was this great array of food. And I realized for me, it wasn't just my stomach that had grown a big capacity, even my eyes. And standing there with my little saucer, I had to decide, what am I going to take? What am I going to leave? And even with the things that I took, I realized later, painfully so, that I had taken more than I needed to take, and I paid the price for it. You see, this is true not just for my weight loss, it's also true in my journey of faith. When I chose to become a Christian, I chose something at the expense of another. I was choosing my chains, so to speak. I had to accept that this journey came with certain limitations and certain expectations. And so even some of the relationships had to be different. Some of them I had to cut off. So I had to embrace a whole new reality, whole new relationships, a whole new way of doing things. And I couldn't just continue as though there was no change. And you see, that has been so helpful for me, because the Bible says that from the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. And so the things that I put outside will affect how I will look on the things that I put on the inside will affect how I look on the outward and how I will behave, and they will even affect the quality of life that I will have here, and where I will, and whether I'll be successful in the journey that I've chosen. See, when I want to lose weight, I can't just eat whatever it is I want to eat, do whatever it is I want to do. I have to do certain things, right? And that is, those things that I do will determine whether I'm successful or not. In the same way, as a Christian, I want to make it to heaven. And Christ is very clear about the expectations of a believer, right? And so the choices that I make now will determine whether I will be able to be successful in that goal of making it to spend time with Christ. The Bible talks a little bit about that in the book of 2 Corinthians in chapter 12. Paul is talking about all the things that he could boast about, but then he says something interesting. He begins to talk about his weaknesses, which in this case are his limitations. And this is what he has to say in 2 Corinthians chapter 12 from verse 7. To keep me from being conceited because of these surpassingly great revelations that was given to me a thorn in my flesh, a messenger of Satan to torment me. 3 times I pleaded with the Lord to take it away from me, but he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore, I will boast all the more gladly about my weaknesses, so that Christ's power may rest on me. That is why, for Christ's sake, I delight in weaknesses, in insults, in hardships, in persecution, in difficulties. For when I am weak, then I am strong. what is Paul saying here? That there sometimes it's going to be difficult. It's not going to be all roses. And the truth is, to get here has cost me. It's not easy. Oh, I thought it was. Actually, I thought when I did the surgery that, now it was just going to be easy, busy. I was just going to float through this season and the kilos would just drop off. But that's not been the truth. I have had to make difficult choices. I've had to have sacrifices. There are times when my body has said no. There are times when I have not obeyed. I have had to just stick to it. And if there's a time I have recognized what my weaknesses are, it is this season. When I've realized, that I'm not really always the boss of me. Sometimes my stomach really strives to be boss, and I have to put it in its place. And that's my prayer for not just myself, but for each one of us, and not just in losing weight, but also in walking this journey, that we will choose to know that even in our weaknesses, Christ covers us. In our weaknesses, he becomes our strength. I want to share with you this beautiful song by Jason Davis, and it's called These Walls, and this is what it says. You are greater than these walls I'm circling. You are stronger than this army that I see. You are bigger than these mountains that I face, and I will choose to only praise you. For this is my song and this is my dare, to worship you even as these walls are standing there. This is my song and this is my prayer. I will declare that there's nothing that is too hard for you. There's nothing that you cannot do. I'll keep my eyes on you, because nothing is too hard for you. There's nothing you can't do. I'll keep my eyes on you and watch these walls start crumbling. God bless you.